up, dudes and dudettes, and all the demons in between? Hail Satan. Yes, we're going to be talking about the 25% of tariffs, and not. This other topic is not getting too much attention in terms of the illegals. There's a lot to unpack here, so I wanted to just give my own thoughts as a Quebecer, as a Canadian, on paper only, and this situation reminds me of another one that has happened a few years ago concerning NAFTA. But I'll try my best to get into everything. Okay, now to begin, a lot of people are freaking out over this, and my philosophy behind it is I do not support tariffs in general because I think taxation without representation is legal thievery. I also do think that this is just another tactic to get these losers, these Cuban Fabio and his ilk, to come to the negotiating table and try to work something out. But now that Trump is reelected, I hope he sincerely breaks all the fucking toys and helps out Canada in the sense, like indirectly and directly in a sense, ruining Canada's reputation. Because at this point, Canada is a laughing stock on the world stage, and it should be mocked. This to me is kind of like a humiliation ritual that should be happening, and Canadians should also be mocking Canada profusely. I understand some people might see this as very anti-patriotic. Call it anti-patriotic, call it I don't give two fucks. To be honest, in my world, Canada doesn't exist. But I know I'm being idealistic about it versus the current state of things here in Canada. And this has already happened. This whole thing with Trump coming to the negotiating table and kind of force-handing these guys, like forcing their hands to actually do this, you guys are missing a little piece of this fucking puzzle. It was called NAFTA. The USMCA, formerly known as NAFTA type of thing. And you had the Chrystia Freeloader, who just pretty much sucked at doing such a thing. As Trump stated at the time, well, we weren't too impressed by Canada's representative, or something akin to that. So, while I do think it is just a tactic, how far is it going to go? Well, let's see. I mean, just because all of a sudden this shit is fucking happening, it doesn't suddenly mean that these idiots out in Ottawa are magically the adults in the room. That's not how this shit fucking works. But if we have to make this as an interesting case study. Actually, it's not really a case study. It's more of when real life consequences happen when you let in idiots running your fucking show. You have a drama teacher posing as a prime minister and also being a wannabe Chi-Com at the same time. This is the same loser that turned around and said that he admired China's basic dictatorship, and if they wanted to flip their economy on a dime to create green jobs, they could actually do that. That was quoted back in 2013, 2 years before Cuban Fabio got elected, or selected rather, as the Prime Minister of Canada, and the same fucking pretty boy that also said that the budget will balance itself. Now, if I was to be so inclined to get into this pretty boy's mind, I'd also like to think that he would come up with something so silly as the tariffs will pay itself. It will pay itself off anyways. If I were to be psychically, kind of being like a psychic, a foreigner entering his fucking brain, so to speak. But I wouldn't be surprised if that were to be the case. I'd be pissing my pants right now if he actually spouted something like that before as making a prediction. I'd be pissing my pants and just McLoving it. But you also we're suffering under egonomics. The same fucking douchebag that forced truckers to get the magic elixir, and it was causing a little bit of problems at the border. You know, trade and shit. Americans aren't too fond of such a thing. Hell, why do you guys think that I root for the United States? It's not because of your president. It's not because of the Bushites and the Obamanites. It's nothing like that. It has to do with the underdog spirit. It has to do with that Luciferian spirit. It has to do with the fighting spirit. It has to do with the we're not tolerating your bullshit type of spirit. That's not Canada! You would think after 9 fucking years, people would be seeing such a thing, but now it's gonna be put to the real fucking test. Not as if, before it was just a buffer. Buffer. It's not Netflix, but this is like a buffer before the buffering thing was crashing and shit. Whatever the case is. Oh no, I hope Trump destroys the fucking toys and destroys the pretty boy and the freeloader like they are fucking Ken and Barbie all of a sudden. Holy shit, take them up the task and fucking embarrass them. I do not think that this is gonna go anywhere in terms of like legit 25% of a tariff. I don't know. I'd like to see what's going to happen. But in terms of the principle, in terms of the philosophy, I want Canada to get fucked in that regard. But what makes this thing really entertaining for me is more and more exposure. Not only is Canada getting even more embarrassed on the world stage, trust me, Trump didn't need to help out with that, or just America in general. You know what makes me laugh? And I'm going to get a little bit esoteric here when it comes to the memetics and whatever. Whenever we talk about occultism, I find that every country has its own unique way of manifesting it. But when it comes to America, you could just sense it. You could just feel it. Because if the United States go down, the world is also going to be having fucking problems too. When the United States gets a cold, eventually Canada's going to start sneezing. Or going through a pandemic. Something like that. So I love whenever the memetics start to come in, and we always associate that power, like true occult power and force, when it comes to the United States. Canada don't have that. It doesn't have it. But what it does do, and this is an obvious thing that the meme the left can't meme, or at least it doesn't meme itself into its glory, or its former glory rather. It turns itself into memeing its own fucking existence. Because it is a fucking joke. Canada is a fucking joke. Every country's gonna have that. I'm not saying the United States isn't guilty of such a thing. But when it comes to, when you think of the Freemasons, when it comes to secret societies, you're thinking of the United States. You don't think Canada in that regard. But when it comes to power, if the United States goes down, do you think Canada's going to be there to be holding the torch of Lady Liberty's light? No, that's not Canada. That's not it. You guys are afraid of capitalism. You guys are afraid of private citizens. You're afraid of people having bodily autonomy. You're afraid of people, or you just don't like them, that are not fitting the fucking mold. That's not Canada. Fuck, that's not even Quebec. That's not Quebec. You don't think for 1 minute I'm not salivating and just enjoying the worry, or at least I hope, that Lego and Quebec City are fucking worried about the huge risk that it's going to put on our Canadian and Quebec economy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I really want that. I want you guys quaking in your fucking boots. Because this whole bullshit that you guys have been at Canada for the past 9 years, and Quebec for the past 5-6 years already. Has it been 6 years? Let's say 5 to 6 years. You guys are going through the same old song and dance. Because here in this province, what's the number one commodity? What's the number one currency? What's the number one concern that we have? It's not the gun crimes. It's not corruption. It's not the tyranny. It's not inflation. It's not the fentanyl crisis. It's not the civil unrest. It's not, or in the sense of the whole multi-culti thing. No, it's not that. Or just forced. Actually, here's my thing. I would say it's multi-culti, but what's just multiculturalism versus just colonizing on purpose? Or it's just colonizing by another name. Who the fuck knows? We can make that argument, but getting that aside, things that are legit to the private citizens that are actually having a negative experience, boots on the ground, can't even afford the basics, mind you. What's the number one thing that Quebecers have to worry about? Or at least it's perceived as a thing. It's the French. The French is more important. The French culture is more important than having to worry about the economy and having, competition and competent people in leaders of authority. Stuff like that. Not women, though, because women are very overly emotional. You don't want those women. But incompetent men. See, at least, guys, they're men. At the very least, they're men. That they know the high risks of running a country as so significant as Quebec. You don't want that. You don't want capitalism. You don't want free markets. The biggest thing that they have to worry about is how much English is someone speaking in the privacy of their own home, or how much access that they have to English colleges and shit. They're not proliferating this meme of bilingualism for thee and not for me type of thing. Or whatever the fucking case is. They can be bilingual, but the plebs can't. Because it's a threat. That's what's important. The culture is way more important. Even though it's the same old boring song and dance we've been hearing for decades on end, you think it would have solved the problem by now? No. But the other thing that no one's talking about, and it is a legit thing, it has to do with the fucking border. Well, Lego had known about it. I mean, let's be honest. Thanks to Faith Goldie, this was talked about in 2016, 2017, around that time, when Cuban Fabio invited the whole world to come to Canada, which I don't think too many people are happy. You could probably ask Brampton, thank you, come again, type of thing. And then you have illegals crossing through the border. Canadians, especially Canadians, especially people out of Toronto. This arrogance. I can't fucking stand. Listen, Toronto, I don't like you. Not everybody out of Toronto, but some of you Canadians out there, your arrogance is disgusting to me. You look down upon the Americans and you say that that a wall is racist because border hoppers. These guys have been dealing with such a thing, border hoppers and illegals, since the fucking 90s. And you're getting what the Americans are getting. And you still want to sit there and act all high and mighty and vacuous about it? Oh, bitch. You deserve a fucking bitch slap and a kick in the ass from me. Because some of us, I think you guys, not just the illegals, but you guys should also be fucking deported. You should be living in LA. You should be living in New York fucking City at this point. We don't want people like you. Hell, Quebec, we don't want people like you. We don't even want language Nazis. Because I'm tired of you assholes. Oh, but don't you think that's a little bit extreme? You're talking about uprooting private citizens. Well, you guys, listen. Treat others the way you want to be treated. You guys don't like individuals that like liberty and their private property, so it's only fair that we do it back to you, except we're going to be a little bit more extreme about it, and we're making our point very valid and fucking clear, okay? I know it's a little bit bad. It's a little, maybe a little bit immoral, but I don't give a fuck. Would you guys, you guys probably think that me being pro-freedom and pro-liberty and all that good shit is an extreme thing onto itself. So in their perception, in their point of view, they could probably see me as a threat and want me fucking deported. Yeah, but I'm not for open borders, you fucking idiots. I'm not for that fucking shit because I know just being in Quebec as a person and my finances is already devaluing at anyways. Alright? You guys are so quick to look at what's going on with Donald Trump and trying to preserve at least something, especially in the southern states, trying to put lines where they are and fucking boundaries, and Canada all of a sudden, now we suddenly care about the fucking problem. Really? I've been saying this for a while. How long is it going to take for Canadians to realize how much deep shit they're in until it's going to be too late? I mean, it's only 2024, and this shit happened back in 2017, and Lego was elected in 2018, and now it's 2024. Bitch, you've had enough time! Except Quebec is always getting these little sweet fucking deals because it's a nation within a nation. They're much more special than Alberta. They're much more special than any other fucking province out here in the lovely confederation that we have to upkeep. I don't know for how much longer. But yeah, you guys tell me. You guys tell me how it's nice to be getting the Martha's Vineyard treatment. Oh yeah, I think all the rest of Canada are really enjoying that and also getting really tired of you guys threatening, well, we're going to separate if you don't give us what it is that we want. Very mafia. Very mafia. Not as if we haven't seen that anywhere or any other group or tribalistic gang. You know, you threaten them, and if you don't do what we say, we'll hold you hostage for ransom type of thing. No, never happened. Nah, I know I'm noticing probably a little too much or just a conspiracy theorist. But here's my other thing. When it comes to tariffs, because we are talking about Canada, we are talking about Quebec. Why are you guys worried about it anyways? You guys are paying a carbon tax. Doesn't bother you. Quebec, how much taxes upon a tax are you guys paying? And at the end of the fucking night, 6 months out of the year, 6 months out of the fucking year, you're not even breaking even. Or you're just making less than you could be making, let's say, saving a shit ton of money in the United States. But certain things are a little bit more expensive. Yes, I understand that. Trade-offs, my friend. So why are you guys freaking out over this? Why? I'd like to know. You've gotten used to paying all these taxes anyways. What's another tax here? What's another one? Oh yeah, by the way, your dollar isn't doing too well either. Competition, my friends. When reality fucking hits you, it's gonna bitch slap you into another fucking timeline, and the timeline is pretty much in a fucking bit of a feedback loop, given what I just said about NAFTA. Except this time, a lot of time has gone on for you guys to finally realize how much Canada's a fucking joke. Will things change? To a point, I'd say the perception. But in terms of the manifestation of what's going on in Ottawa, I don't know. See, that I have to wait for it. If you guys want to sit there and say that the Cartoon Con is going to save Canada, whatever the fuck, big words. Big words. I'm still waiting how else he's going to persuade Canadians to vote for him to make it the freest nation on the planet. Well, you didn't say anything about constitutional carry. You're not talking about unbanning the AR-15s. Why is it still under prohibited? There's no reason for them to be under prohibited. No fucking reason. How was that any different than Blackie Lawless? Yeah, guns kill a lot of people. Bitch, a fucking rifle only has 5 rounds in a magazine. That's it. That's all it fucking has. You have to have premeditated and loaded the other magazines, you idiots. Okay? But nothing about capitalism, nothing like that. Also not pardoning what has happened with the pandemic. It's not up to us, the government, to be telling people what to do with their own fucking bodies. That's not up to us. I have not heard anybody utter those words other than me. Because a pretty boy could get in just because he's flaunting his magnificent hair, I don't see why I shouldn't run for fucking politics and just smash and trash that fucking place to the ground. I might be a little bit more extreme than Chainsaw Javier. Maybe we could fucking use that up here. But I digress. All of this 25% thing, bah, nothing. Just a tactic. In terms of illegals, people have only been telling you that since 2016. Only been saying that, but now that you're seeing the real life consequences, yeah, oops. Stick that in your fucking pipe and smoke it. Peace out.